idea is, again, you're seeing this, that Burroughs is trying to have us in our minds place the idea of contentment, the reality of contentment, in a Christian worldview context. The only way that we can do that is when we recognize that there is something of contentment that is mysterious. It's so mysterious that the world sees it as foreign to them. You see this language used quite often in the New Testament especially, that talks about Christians as aliens, talks about Christians as having their citizenship in heaven. Jesus saying, "My kingdom is not of this world," and we are part of that kingdom, therefore we are not part of this world in the sense of belonging. And that means that our day in and day out activities, our mindset, the way that we approach life, the way that we interact with all the things that are contrary or antithetical to contentment is really what sets us apart from the rest of the world. Everybody tries to find some sense of contentment, but the question is where the source is and what you do to get there. And that's what sets Christians apart from the rest of the world. So his first point, number 8, is that the Christian lives upon the dew of God's blessing. I found that this point, number 8, was probably very inspirational of Jonathan Edwards. So to give a little bit of timeline here, I was living roughly here, living 100 years or so before Jonathan Edwards. And so you can see Jonathan Edwards and all of those who come in his time frame. Then you have John Newton and all the others who are predecessors of Burroughs. But one of the things that's said so much about Jonathan Edwards in his sermons and the way he writes his books is that one of his favorite words to describe Christianity and the idea of union with Christ is sweetness. And you see that phrase no less than 6 times just in point number 8 of contentment being a mystery. I'm going to read them to you just really quickly. So my argument here is that Burroughs really gave Edwards all of his sweetness language. And so he says this, if you would come to them and say, "How comes it that you live so comfortably as you do?" They are not able to tell you what they have, but they find there is a sweetness in what they do enjoy. And they know this by experience, that they never had such sweetness in former times, that though they had more plenty in former times than now they have, yet they know they had not such sweetness. But how this comes, they cannot tell. Speaking of Christians, that it's very often